30,000 years ago, you follow a trail over a ridge, look back, and every other human has vanished. No road, no sign, just wilderness large enough to swallow you. Your camp may be 10 kilometers away. Darkness is coming. Water is behind you, beside you, or in exactly the direction you are afraid to choose. Did ancient humans read the sun, follow rivers, or wander until they found smoke? Archaeology left no manual, but it did leave tracks, camps, roots, and far-traveled stone. Together, those clues suggest a surprising answer. Ancient people carried no secret compass. They carried an entire world in their heads, built one tree, footprint, and story at a time. The first mistake is imagining ancient humans as tourists in empty wilderness. Foragers repeatedly left camp, found food, and returned. The landscape around home was not blank, it was practiced. GPS studies recorded more than 2,000 person days of Hadza movement. Some men around age 32 covered about 15 kilometers daily. This was not an expedition, it was work. Walk that far, return home, then repeat it across changing seasons, and scenery becomes information. A bent tree, pale soil, dry channel, and distant ridge become coordinates. Some foraging groups use more than 1,000 square kilometers in a year. Learning where food, water, shelter, predators, and hazards sit inside that space can take years. That education began in childhood. Children recognize landmarks before reliably keeping orientation, and one review reports 5- and 6-year-old Kung children could not yet navigate the bush alone. Before you ever became lost, others trained you not to. They showed routes, corrected mistakes, named places, and repeated stories containing food, danger, and the way home. In oral cultures, a route need not resemble a paper map. It can be a sequence: the split rock, the old tree, then the valley where the wind changes. Researchers describe distinctive trees, including baobabs, as landmarks for Kalahari sand communities. Repeating scrub to an outsider can be filled with differences to someone raised there. Asking whether ancient people used the sun misses the system. Traditional navigation can combine landmarks, terrain, wind, snow, water, animals, memory, and other people's knowledge. The sun and stars may have helped. Traditional societies use celestial cues, but Stone Age skies leave almost no trace. One universal prehistoric compass is more than the evidence allows. The stronger answer is less magical. They combined weak clues. Lose the landmark, and you still have the slope. Lose the slope, and you may recognize the soil. Return to the ridge. Your group is gone, but their movement remains. Feet compress soil. Grass bends. Stones turn. Ash, fibers, and broken plants can outlast a voice. Tracking was learned expertise, not a superpower. In one controlled study, hoan sand trackers correctly reconstructed 98% of 569 cases of animal spore, including complex behavior. Skilled observers infer direction, speed, age, and sometimes behavior from a track. The ground shows no arrow. It shows an event that must be reconstructed. Archaeology cannot prove one Paleolithic hunter did this, but people able to read an animal trail could inspect their group's fresh tracks or retrace their own. That distinction matters. A footprint can survive. The thought, "I am lost," cannot. Every answer combines physical evidence with carefully chosen comparisons to documented foragers. A tracker need not follow every mark. Once the direction became clear, a known landmark could take over. A ridge gap, water source, habitual path, or camp. The goal was probably not find north. North is useless if home is southeast. The useful question was concrete. Which known place can I reach from here? Real-world wayfinding is not one perfect map, but a chain of recoverable certainty. One correct place can rescue you from 100 wrong directions. The best protection was not individual genius, it was a central place. Camps turned huge landscapes into repeated loops, each beginning and ending around other people. At camp, one person's discovery became everyone's information. Water moved, a herd crossed west, a path flooded, a dangerous animal waited near the trees. Conversation updated the map. Stories meant nobody had to survive every mistake personally. Forager oral traditions transmit knowledge about resources, predators, hazards, and wayfinding before a child needs it alone. Beyond familiar ground, the system mattered more. Archaeologists describe scouting and information pooling. A few people explore harsh landscapes, then knowledge spreads through wider social networks. In the south-central Atacama, evidence from 13 to 9,000 years ago suggests foragers learned the high desert gradually, combining scouting with information shared across flexible networks. This overturns the lone explorer myth. Unknown land was safer when information moved ahead of you, and when somebody behind knew where you intended to go. Stone shows how far connections reached. At a Kenyan site about 200,000 years old, most obsidian came from a source 166 kilometers away. One person may not have walked that distance. Exchange could move the material. Either explanation requires routes, group contact, and information crossing far more than one camp. Those networks could connect strange paths or camps to familiar territory. They do not prove rescues. They prove ancient landscapes were socially connected, not empty. Sometimes every layer failed. Storms erased tracks. Fog swallowed ridges. Snow transformed the ground. A waterhole vanished. Someone crossed beyond the landscape stored in memory. Here, evidence becomes quiet. No verified Paleolithic rule says climb, follow water, wait, or light a signal fire. Different environments demanded different choices. The best reconstruction is a sequence. Recover the last certain clue. Inspect the ground, rebuild your direction, and aim for a known anchor instead of a compass point. That sequence is an inference, not a Stone Age checklist. If it failed, survival became brutally physical. Water, temperature, injury, predators, and time. Getting lost was no clever puzzle. A wrong route consumed calories, separated you from shared food, and turned small injuries into immobility. Finding water did not guarantee people. Some lost people certainly died. We cannot count them. A skeleton rarely tells archaeologists, this person was 3 valleys from home and chose the wrong ridge. Others found a trail, heard a call, reached a known valley, or met another group. All are plausible. None becomes universal without pretending the evidence says more. That uncertainty is the honest answer. Archaeology preserves repeated behavior better than private emergencies. It shows the navigation system that usually worked, not each desperate failure. So what did ancient humans do when lost? Inside familiar territory, lost may have meant a broken connection between known places, not total ignorance. They searched for a clue to reconnect the chain. A track, tree, ridge, path, water source, story, or person. Their strength came from combining clues. Outside familiar territory, their safest technology was borrowed knowledge. Scouts, companions, neighboring groups, and generations of stories that placed danger and opportunity before their eyes. Your phone tells you where to turn. Their world taught what each turn meant, which tree marked water, which valley offered shelter, and which path led home. That knowledge was enormous, not supernatural. It required years of walking, watching, listening, failing safely beside adults, and remembering what modern people outsource to a blue dot. Wilderness remained dangerous. Storms erased information. People made fatal mistakes. But the land was not featureless, because human attention had filled it with memory. Return to that ridge. The group is gone. Darkness is close. But the silence holds evidence. Bent grass, disturbed stones, a remembered tree, a route learned years ago. Ancient humans survived not because they never got lost, but because a footprint became a direction, a story became a map, and another human became the way home.